Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to watch another video here at alliseeisW, where we talk about stocks, Bitcoin, and finance. The goal of this channel is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. In today's video, I'd like to cover the overall Bitcoin market as well as talk about a Bitcoin mining company, the overall milestone achievement today from CleanSpark. So CLSK stock, they actually announced that they just reached their milestone of reaching over 10,000 Bitcoins on their treasury balance sheet right now. All of that was mined all the way up through where we are currently in 2025. So we'll talk about the overall price targets. Is now a good time to buy? Are you worried as to whether the stock price will continue going down? Is it now a time to just hold and dollar cost average down? We'll talk about all of those updates, but if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. And just with overall Bitcoin prices, we've been seeing some uncertainty going on. There's been some degree of volatility. People are wondering, is Bitcoin going to hover back up above the $100,000 range? I believe that there is, and just with the short-term news we heard from just overall updates with Bitcoin, in that the government has the ability to sell $6.5 billion worth of Bitcoin that was just gathered from the Silk Road scandal. So we haven't heard any news yet as to whether the government intends to sell that, but they do have that ability to do so. And that's really what's driving the price down, because if that were to happen, then the demand goes down, meaning that the government wants to sell at the current price, take advantage of that, and that would result in the price of Bitcoin going down. However, what we've been hearing with Donald Trump, pro-Bitcoin administration, with the strategic Bitcoin reserve, where the United States, the goal is to continue hodling the most Bitcoin possible heading into 2025 onward with that strategic plan to keep acquiring. I don't think that all of that's going to happen. And I do forecast that Bitcoin in the year 2025, we're going to see that all-time high rush. So I wouldn't worry so much about all of that in between news, just sudden hiccups. But I do think that come the inauguration, we're going to see some price action with Bitcoin, and we're going to see some minor action, especially with a company like CleanSpark. Let's take a look at the overall technicals with CleanSpark. So what we're looking at here is just overall price targets with CleanSparks, just going back from like November 21st, now, heading into 2025. So where we are January 9th, markets will be open tomorrow. Current price, just at that $10 range. I definitely do think that here's a great buying opportunity. Again, when you do invest, always do your research. I think that because CleanSpark has been just going down, descending triangle, weeks over weeks, months over months now, I think here's a great opportunity. Let's say if your cost average is high, continue dollar cost averaging down. I've been taking advantage of the reduction in the price because I do believe that what goes down will eventually pop back up, especially with the robust fundamentals that we're seeing with CleanSpark. So here I have a yellow line set at tier one at around $15, and tier two set at $18, where the prior resistance from a near-term perspective is around November 13 when it reached that all-time high of $18. So it was a matter of weeks where it dropped close to about 50% of its share price from that time point. But if we scale back from a year perspective, we saw how well CleanSpark performed in the year 2024 early on. I mean, back in February, this thing was like a basement low $6, and it ran all the way up to $25. That's over 400% gain. But what did we see in the year 2024 overall performance in the subsequent quarters like Q2, Q3, Q4? We just saw a continuous reduction in the price, but I do think that because there's so much sentiment going on, we're going to have a new leadership on board with Trump in the White House, that's really going to change the direction with the performance in these miners, especially with CleanSpark being so undervalued right now. So I do see that with Bitcoin going up to about 200,000 reaching all-time high in 2025, we can see CleanSpark have that, potential ignition to 3 to 5x gain on a minimum. Let's take a look at just overall price releases. So today we got information that CleanSpark achieves more than 10,000 Bitcoin held. And just recently, they announced their December production data. We'll take a look more about that. But what was today's update? So now currently CleanSpark has over 10,000, in fact, close to 10,100 Bitcoin held in treasury, all produced from mining activity. This has been a significant milestone, achieving over $10,000. I believe it's a race for these Bitcoin miners to really ramp up their hodl. Overall, CleanSpark is a pure Bitcoin mining company that is based in the United States, and really CleanSpark's going to take advantage being a North American miner as they continue to ramp up their hash rate. And we heard about CleanSpark's strategy using that convertible note. So they got approved for like a $650 convertible note. So what they plan on doing is to use that money to pay off the line of credit between Coinbase and them in exchange to get back Bitcoin, and also to use that money to fund their overall vision, strategic growth in the year 2025 to get up to that hash rate in the next 6 months or less than 6 months to get up to over 50 hash rate, which is comparable to what Mara currently has. So I think all in all, overall, operational excellence and strategic growth really disciplines CleanSpark to add value to shareholders, at least in the year 2025 and more years to come here. But every Bitcoin in their treasury has been mined in the US, and that's supporting American energy jobs, which really helps ramp up the innovation in the United States, as well as supporting the global Bitcoin ecosystem. But I think one of the other highlights is, achieving a 236% year over year increase in CleanSpark's Bitcoin dominated treasury, showing their ability to continue ramping up their hash rate, building on the Bitcoins mined per day, and really building on that HODL count. So I think this is a huge testament for what CleanSpark has done using that strategy of continuous mining, bringing down that cost for overall Bitcoin's price to mine. And this really is going to allow CleanSpark to shine, which I think is a huge statement here. I mean, just as a pure miner play, they're lowering their cost of capital. I mean, just recently their joules per terahash decreased from like 19 joules per terahash to like 17 joules per terahash, demonstrating that their fleet efficiency is improving month over month. So I think their ability to keep their low cost production with high reliability using like the latest and greatest technology S21 Pro miners, that's really going to allow CleanSpark to create a barriers to entry for other Bitcoin miners to get to that rank number three in terms of HODL count. So I think because their hash rate is getting much higher, they're just going to lead that race and create that disparity for all of the other miners right behind them. Let's take a look at Bitcoin holdings of public Bitcoin miners. So what we see here is, Mara, they're over that 40,000 HODL count. We have Riot Platforms, they're above, 17,000, close to 18,000. So we don't see this updated. But just looking at CleanSpark, we see here it's updated in that they have 10,097 Bitcoins, consistent with what we just saw in the article release. So they just went from like rank number four to now rank number three. So they're number three in the race right now. Also keeping in mind that Hut 8 did use $100 million to buy Bitcoin, but CleanSpark overall, they've mined everything. Riot and Mara, they used the MSTR playbook along with Hut 8 too to acquire more Bitcoin. But can you just imagine all these companies with high HODL Bitcoins, especially if and when the Bitcoin price goes beyond $200,000, all of that's going to be revenue for these miners, which is why I think these miners are really going to benefit, and we're going to see that reflected on their Q4 balance sheet. Just looking at, the last couple of days when CleanSpark announced their production data, I mean, they mined 668 Bitcoin, so significant improvement from November's data where they mined 622 Bitcoin. So that just shows that they've increased their hash rate by a factor of close to 300% with 33% efficiency improvement year over year. How were they able to execute on that? That had to do with just having multiple facilities, deploying the latest and greatest technology using the S21 Pro miners, scaling up their operations, bringing down costs, and now they're gearing up to achieve that 50 exahash by mid 2025, already fully funded. So this positions CleanSpark to really ramp up that hash rate, bring down that fleet efficiency, reducing the cost for Bitcoin's mine, getting that fixed cost very low. But I think one other thing to highlight is like throughout December 2024, the company's average hash rate was 35 exahash and average fleet efficiency was 18, resulting in an average of 21 Bitcoins mined daily. I mean, within a single day, they were able to get to all-time high of 22.46 Bitcoin. So that just shows how strong CleanSpark is from a fundamentals perspective. Their balance sheet, Q4 results, it's going to show positive results. I think the EPS, earnings per share, actuals reporting is going to significantly dominate the expected results. And I think all of what's happened at like the Mississippi site, being fully operational with the S21 Pro miners, the Tennessee site, getting into the second phase of operations. I think as they bring on deploying more Pro miners at that site, that's going to help bring up that hash rate even more. And in addition to that, the Wyoming site by, year end, they're going to capitalize on S21 XP immersion miners, which will also add more to the hash rate total accumulation and really bring down the hash rate. So I think CleanSpark right now, they're number two in terms of most efficient when it comes to cost to mine Bitcoin. They're right behind Iron, but that just shows the sentiment with CleanSpark. And I think that from a share price standpoint, we're seeing a big anomaly here, seeing just downward trajectory when we're seeing just great results from CleanSpark. I'm anticipating that 2025, we can see this huge run up, big, banana candles, whatever you call it. But I think that we can potentially even see, that 30 to $40 range from my perspective. So there you have it. I just wanted to give you overall updates on where we are with Bitcoin price action. Is CleanSpark a time to buy, sell, or hold? Let me know what your thoughts are, and please make sure to hit the like and subscribe for more related content at alliseeisW. Thank you.